Okay, so right now we're going to experience a breathing practice, a sequence of breaths that will come from the calming series of breath cards. So as you might guess, with calming as the series, it's here to help relax, to help soothe, to unwind from perhaps the end of a long day, or maybe to have a more gentle start to your morning. These breaths can be done really at any time of day, just depends what kind of energy you're looking for. And these ones here are to calm. The 3 breaths that we're going to cover, I'm going to start with Anapanasati, which in essence is about observing your natural breath. We'll then move that into a deeper resonant breath, a coherent breath, where we breathe lower into our body and build in a rhythmical, slow count to guide and regulate the breath. Following that, our third, even more relaxing breath is the Brahmari breath. Brahmari is the bumblebee, the hummingbee. And you might not be surprised to hear that there's humming in that breath. And so through this video, we're going to experience those breaths together. So it's experiential practice. And at the same time, I'll be explaining some of the interesting points about the breath and why it's beneficial. So let's begin by getting into this comfortable seated position that works for you. So perhaps that's on a chair, maybe you're sitting on your bed, maybe it's a meditation cushion. However it is, find somewhere that you can have 10 or so minutes sitting with comfort, but not slouching into a cozy chair. We want to sit upright. We want to have the spine taut, as if there's this golden cord pulling your crown of your head up, like lengthening, elongating your spine. We do that really because that brings stability in the core body. You end up stacking bones on bones, the spine is straight and supported. And if right now it's not that comfortable, it will become more comfortable. And it's worth doing. So it's worth being as straight and tall as you can seated. For these breaths, our mudras, our hand positions, not so essential. You may like to have your hands maybe touching like this. Or maybe you prefer the Gyan mudra. You can place them on your knees, resting down on your lap. And let's tune into our Anapanasati, our natural breath. It's nice to start with observing the breath around the nose area. So breathing through your nose, just notice what that in-breath feels like. Can you sense any tactile sensations? Might be tingliness. Maybe it's the coldness of cooler air. And see as you breathe out, what do you notice about that? It's likely to be warmer from the warmth of our body. Maybe you notice that you breathe more heavily right now through one nostril or the other. Let's take our attention a little lower down the body now. So still keeping your breath natural, bring your attention to your chest and abdomen. In fact, it can be very helpful to take one hand to your chest and one hand to your abdomen. And I invite you to notice whether your breathing is more up in your chest. You can feel the movement in your chest. Or do you feel more movement down in your abdomen and your lower stomach area? Maybe you think there's a right or wrong right now. It doesn't matter. Just let that go and let the breath be where it wants to be. And you might learn something about where you're holding tension in your body, and aware. Just notice. It's the top hand by your chest, expanding as you breathe in and coming down as you breathe out. Or maybe your lower hand, your abdominal hand right now, maybe that is the one that's moving most. Maybe they're moving similar amounts. So we're going to now transition into our resonant, coherent breath. And that means breathing down lower into the stomach. It means using our diaphragm, our abdominal muscles, allowing, as we breathe in, the abdomen to expand. And then as you breathe out, allowing your abdomen and diaphragm contracts and presses the air up out of your lungs. So our diaphragm is our biggest muscle for breathing, and it's very beneficial to use the biggest muscles for the biggest job. So if we think about when we're lifting things off the floor, the age-old advice is to bend the knees, keep the back straight. And that's just because then we use all the big leg muscles. We use our quads, we use our glutes. They're so powerful, so much more powerful than our back muscles. So just like that, in the same way, we want to use our diaphragm more in our breathing rather than the smaller muscles around in our rib cage. Let's add our count here to slow and soothe the breath. We're going to breathe in for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, out. 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 again. Breathe in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, in. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, out. 2, breathing low. 3, 4, 5, 6. Keep going with that count, and if you find that count's a little too slow for your comfort, you can adapt it and move to the count of 5 instead of the count of 6. Both are hugely beneficial. So the reason for the 5 or 6 kind of count is that it means that you have 5 or 6 breaths a minute. And there's been quite good evidence that that slow and rhythmical breathing at that pace, that it can promote a lot of heart health. So it can increase our heart rate variability, which is that when our heart and body is really relaxed, then our heart can adjust to these like minor little things going on in our body. It can adjust to our breathing, and we actually want our heart to be able to adapt and adjust, and at least that's what I've come to understand. I certainly can sense that through this breath that there's a really soothing, relaxing experience and sensation that comes through. In fact, a lot of mantras, a lot of prayers, quite a few songs, all these spoken practices But they also promote this rhythmical breathing, and quite a lot of them actually promote this 5 to 6 breaths a minute. And that's probably one of the reasons why these particular devotional mantra practices are so beneficial and feel so wonderful to do. So now let's move into our Brahmari breath. Breath number 3, the humming bee. So humming is thought to be able to promote the production of nitrogen oxide. And that is, it helps the blood effectively move around the body. It's a vasodilator, so it helps expand all your blood vessels, so blood flows more easily. So you can see that might also, it's meant to reduce blood pressure a little bit. So for this breath, we're going to breathe in through our nose. So about the count of 5 or 6, something slow. That's perfect. And then we breathe out with a hum. And for the hum, our lips are touching and our teeth are slightly apart so that we avoid biting down. We would like our jaw and our face to be lovely and relaxed. Invite your eyes to be closed for this particular practice because it helps you tune in to that sensation, this vibrating sensation. So let's do just one and I'll explain a little more. Empty your breath. Breathe in 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Out to hum. Quite simple, very simple. You might have already noticed in that particular breath, you can sense the tactile vibrations perhaps around your face and your body. And you could also choose to intensify that. And that would be if you press your hands, cup them around your ears, press them in. Let's experience that one again with our hands over our ears. Empty lungs. Breathe in 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hum out. You bring your hands down. So these vibrations you feel is literally the sound, the energy, the waves of sound going through your body, coming from you, coming out, expanding out, and in many ways it seems as if that vibration can help relax, release, to let go. It's like it moves things out, it blows it away, helps blow it away. So as a suggestion, particularly if you're having trouble with sleeping, the Brahmari breath is really powerful for helping you go to sleep. It might be the kind of thing that you would do, say, 3, 4, 5 rounds of that breath. So just repeating the humming roughly that many times. So it might take a couple of minutes. And you'll notice that sleep is easier. Sleep is deeper. Having completed the Brahmari breath, come back to Anapana. Come back to Anapanasati. A pure, natural, simple breath. place your attention into your breath and feel it, sense it. So that was the 3 breaths we have covered today. The Anapanasati, the coherent or resonant breath, and then Brahmari, our humming breath. I hope it's been a nice, relaxing experience for you. And if you've got any insights, any feedback, any thoughts that you would like to share, please do. It will be lovely.